Assalamu alaikum dear students. In the series of learning C programming, we are discussing file handling in C. In the previous videos, we have discussed the various file opening modes in C. There we have discussed what is R mode, W mode, A mode, R plus mode, W plus mode and A plus mode. Everything minutely regarding these modes have been thoroughly and minutely discussed in those videos with the help of the program. And also we have discussed there what is the difference between R plus mode, W plus mode and A plus mode. And from today we are going to discuss some file handling functions such as fseek function, rewind function and ftell function. And in today's video we are going to know what is fseek function. Why do we need fseek function and what is the use of this fseek function in files? Or we can say how this fseek function helps in file handling. That all will be discussed in today's video with the help of the example. So our today's video is fseek function in C. For example, if we have a function file in the hard disk abc.txt, for example, if we have a file in the hard disk abc.txt, this is a file and the contents of this file are I am learning C. Suppose I have a file in the hard disk, I have the file in my computer, in my PC, abc.txt, and the contents of this file are I am learning C. Now, and we know that this fseek function, what is fseek function? Fseek function is used to move the cursor. This function is used to move the cursor to a specific position, because the main purpose of this fseek function is to move the cursor to a specific function. That means, for example, if I have a function I am learning C and I have opened this file in R plus mode, that means reading mode, the cursor is at present, the cursor is here. Cursor is at the end. When I am writing this file, the cursor is at the end, and I want to move this cursor from this position from C to I, that means from end to beginning, or I want to move this this cursor from this position to this position. For example, presently the cursor is at C and I want to move it to here this position, or I want to move the cursor from beginning to any position, or we can say this fseek function is used to move the cursor from any position to anywhere. I can move the cursor either backward or forward. That means if cursor is here, I can move it forward. If cursor is here, I could move it backward. If cursor is here, I can move it anywhere. So in order to move the cursor, to set the cursor, I have a function in C, that is the fseek function. So fseek function is used to move the cursor to a specific position, In order to move the cursor to a specific position in the file, we can use this fseek function. But this fseek function, the syntax, we can say, in other words, the syntax of this fseek function is, for example, here I can write fseek, the syntax, then first it can take 3 arguments. This fseek function takes 3 arguments. First one is the file pointer, for example, file pointer, fp, I can write. Second one is the offset. And third one is the position, or we can say origin. This is the syntax of this fseek function. I have told you that fseek function is the file function which is used to move the cursor to a specific position. I can move the cursor by using this fseek function either forward or backwards, or from beginning to end or end to beginning, at anywhere in the file. So it takes three arguments. First one is the file pointer, second one is the offset, and third one is the position or origin. The data type of this FP, the data type of this file pointer is, we know, file type, which we have already discussed it, that a pointer is the pointer is the variable icon. It can take the address of the file type object. So the data type of this file pointer is file, and offset is long int, and that of position is int. These are the data types of these three parameters, or we can see. It can take three arguments: file pointer, offset, and position, or you can say origin. Now, if, and it will return a file, it will return int. The return type of this fseek function is integer. It will return integer. If it will return 0 if it successfully move the cursor. If this function successfully move the cursor, it will return 0. Otherwise, it will return non-zero. If this function returns 0, we can say that it has successfully moved the cursor from one position to the another position. If it fails, it will return non-zero. So the return type is the, we can say it is the it is the declaration of this function. This function returns 0 integer. It can return 0 if successfully updated, or if it becomes successful, and it will return non-zero in case of it fails to move the cursor. So it can take three arguments. First, the file pointer, because we can access the files by using the pointers, and second is the offset I can say, and third is the position. Now the question is, what is offset and position? What does these two means here? Offset first. Offset means how many bytes you want to move cursor. What does offset say? This offset means how many bytes you want to move the cursor, either backwards or forwards. For example, this is the offset. If you here, for example, I will give a numbering it to it: 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. This is the 0th position, first position. Here also I have included these blank spaces. Blank spaces are also going to be counted. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. The numbering. That means, for example, if the cursor is at the beginning, first, if the cursor is at the, I have opened the file in the R mode. So in R mode, we can read the file. So the position is at the beginning. File exists and cursor is at the beginning. How many bytes I want to move the cursor forward? For example, if I want to move the cursor from here to here, M. I want to move the cursor from I to M. How many bytes? First 1, 2, 3, and 4. I want to move the 4 bytes forward. So I can write here positive value. Positive value, that means offset shows means how many bytes you want to move cursor. If I move the cursor forward, then positive value, I can write positive 4, positive value. Positive value indicates to move the cursor forward, and negative value indicates to, this is for forward. For moving the cursor forward, we can use here positive value, and in case we want to move the cursor from N to this position, at that position we move the cursor backwards. At that case, we can use here negative value. That means negative values indicates, shows the backward position, that the cursor is moving backwards. Take care. What does offset shows? Offset means how many bytes you want to move the cursor. Obviously, we can move the cursor either forward or backward. If we want to move the cursor forward, then we have to show this in a this offset in a, for example, 6, in positive 6. For example, if we if we want to move the cursor backward 6, then we have to show it in a negative cursor, negative value. Okay, now I hope what does this negative 6, negative value and a positive value signify, shows. And what is offset? What does offset mean? Offset means how many bytes you want to move the cursor in the file, either backwards or forwards. If you move the cursor forwards, then you have to specify here the positive value, how many bytes, 6, 7, 8, what you want. And if you want to move the cursor backwards, then you have to specify them. Then you have to show in it a negative value, sign negative. Now, after that, position. What does position? Here, this is a file pointer. Offset means now how many bytes you want to move the cursor either backwards or forwards. For moving the cursor backward position, you have to show in a positive value, and for moving the cursor backward position, you have to indicate it in a negative value. Now the position. What is position? Position. In case of position, there is also 3 cases. Either there is also 3 cases. Either the cursor is at the beginning and you want to move the cursor from the beginning to forward. Either the cursor is at the beginning. If you open the file in R mode, at that case the cursor is at the beginning. So you want to move the cursor from the beginning, from this position to forward. From this position to for that case, we use seek set. Seek underscore set. This. You want to move the cursor from this position. If you want to move the position from the beginning, we can say from the beginning. At the beginning, if you want to move the cursor from the beginning, that means at the start of the, if the cursor is at this position at the start of the file and you want to move from this position to this position, so the position at present the cursor is at the beginning. So at that you can show here, in case of position, you can show here a seek set. Seek set means to move the cursor from the beginning position. And second one is seek current, CUR. Seek current, seek CUR. What does this indicate? This indicates from the current position. For example, you have used this seek beginning and 4 bytes forward, then at present the cursor is here. So the current position of this cursor is 4. You want to then move this cursor from the current position, that means from the position number 4, index number 4 to index number 6. For example, suppose you want to move the cursor from index number 4 to index number 6. That means you want to go forward for 2 positions, 2 bytes forward. At that case, you can seek from current. That means you move the cursor from the current position, from the current location, from the current index. That means 4, 2 bytes for plus 2. You can write, it will go here. You can write this seek current, and here plus 2, it will move the cursor from this position to position number 6. Okay. And third one is seek, SEEK, seek and END. That means to move the cursor from the end. Because obviously there is only 3 possibilities. Either the cursor will at the beginning, or cursor will at the end, or cursor will at any location, at any position in between beginning and the end. If the cursor is at the beginning and you want to move it forward from this position 2 bytes, then you have to specify here current set. And if the cursor is at the end, you want to move it backwards 2 position, you have to specify here at this position, at this place, seek and if the position is anywhere between this and beginning, you have to specify there seek current. That means, so we can say this is a file pointer which indicates which is through which we can access the files. Offset means how many bytes you want to move the cursor, either forwards or backwards. If you want to move the cursor forwards, you have to show it in a positive value. If you want to move the cursor backwards, you have to show in the negative value. Okay, and position or origin means from where you want to move the cursor. If you want to move the cursor from the beginning, then you have to specify this current seek set here, the argument. If you want to move the cursor from the end, then you have to seek end. If you want to move the cursor from any position between the beginning and the end, then you have to write there seek current. I hope now you have understood what these three arguments means, what these parameters means. And also you should know, you must take in mind that this fseek function is also defined in the header file in help stdio.h, and these are also the predefined functions seek set, seek current, seek end. These are also the predefined functions which also have been defined in the stdio.h header file. So let's write a program, small program. In order to understand it fully, let's write a small program. For example, first we have to include, we must make it our habit to include the header files stdio.h, conio.h, using etc. And for example, here I am going to write a program void man. Now first of all, I have to create a file pointer, file of type file. This is a pointer ptr, and initialize it with a null. That's ABC. Now after that, we have to open this file. File is fopen function, which we have already discussed in the previous videos. Fopen function, it takes two arguments. First is the name of the file. In this case, the name of the file is abc.txt, and we want to, for example, we want to open it in a R mode, read mode only, and it will return a pointer. First we will check if ptr equal to null, then it means if ptr equal to null, then simply printf file not open, or you can print any message here, exit 1, and that is it. After that we will use the seek file, because for example we have opened this file in the read mode, and if we open the file in the read mode, the cursor would be at the beginning, that means at the position 0, at index 0, and we want to move this cursor from 0 to 4th index. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4. I want to move this position from this I to M, because these black spaces are also going to be counted. So what we can do here, simply we will use the fseek function, fseek function. First it will take the file pointer. What's the name of the file pointer? That is the ptr. Then it will take the offset, that means how many bytes we want to move the cursor, either forward or backward. Here we want to move the cursor forward. That means 1, 2, 3 and 4 bytes. That means we will specify here 4. Okay, then position, from which position we want to move. We want to move from the beginning, so here we can write seek underscore set, and that is it. So here what we have done, we have done nothing. We have only used the seek function what will this line do? After execution of this line, the cursor will move 4 bytes forward. 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. That is M. See, and for example, we want to now print this M. What will be the value at this position? For example, first we have to declare here a variable ch. For example, here I have declared a variable ch. Now ch equal to fget_c ptr printf %c ch f close ptr, and that is it. What would this program print? It will print this M, because here I have used the fgetC function, which we have already explained in the previous videos. This function is used to read a single character from the file. fgetC function is used as single character from the file. So here at this time, this fseek function moves the cursor from the beginning, because cursor was here. It moved the cursor to 4 places forward, 4 bytes forward. That means 0, 1, 2, and 3. Now the cursor is here. Now if we read this character, M character, and that will get stored in ch, and print this ch, and it will print as M. Okay, this is the first case. Second, for example, if we want to move the cursor from this position, here cursor is at position 3, here we want to move it 4 places forward. Now we want to move it 4 places forward. What we can see here, we can write not set current, because currently the cursor is here for here. Currently the cursor is here. We can write here CUR. It will CUR. It will move the cursor 4 bytes forward from the current position. At this moment, the cursor is at position 3. 4 bytes, 1, 2, 3, and 4. A. That means A. Now the cursor would be here. A. If we print this line after execution of this line, now CHF gets, what will get printed? Now this A will get printed. Now for example, now we want to move the cursor 5 places backward from the current position. Now at present the cursor is at A, and we want to move it 5 places forward. What we can write here? We can specify -5. In order to move the cursor backwards, we have to show it here, this offset in negative number. So we want to move it 5 places left. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That means here. Yeah. The cursor will move 5 places. That means if we now it will print this M will get again printed. Okay. I hope now you have understood what this -5 and +5 does. If we show this offset in plus, it will move the cursor forwards. If we show it in minus, it will move the cursor backwards from the current position. Now, for example, suppose our cursor is at the end. Suppose now the cursor is at, we want to move this cursor from the end to backwards. Now here we can write simply seek and underscore and 5 -5. What it can does 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. It will move the cursor from end to 5 places backwards. 5 bytes backwards. That means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And after execution of this, it will print here I will get printed. So these are the cases, 3 cases. Either the cursor can be moved from beginning to backward, forwards, or from current location to forward and backward, or from end to backward. All 3 cases I have now discussed with you. I have showed you now how we can move the cursor backwards or forwards, from beginning to forward, from current location to backward, or forward, from end to backward position. That all have been discussed now thoroughly in this program with the help of this program. So now I hope now you are familiar, you have now understood, you have now hopefully know what this fseek function does, how we can use this fseek function in the files. But take care, the mode of opening the files matters. In which mode you are going to open the file. For example, if you open the file in W mode, for example, if you open the file in W mode and file already exists there, we know in case of W mode, if the file already exists, it overwrites the current file and new file is going to be created. The contents of the already existing file is going to be overwritten. So if you open the file in this mode, W mode, and you want to, for example, you want to print this ch and it is end. For example, it is end. What will happen? First, it will open the file, it will erase the contents of the file and new file will get opened and file will get opened. But if these contents are not there, nothing will get printed. Nothing will get printed. So this depends upon in which mode you are going to open the file. Accordingly, the output of this fseek function is going to be generated. So now I hope that you have now understood what is the value, what is fseek function, and how to use this fseek function, why we use the fseek function. Everything I have discussed with you regarding this fseek function in this video. Inshallah, in the next video we will discuss one more file function, that a special file function, that is the ftel function, that we'll discuss in the next video. Till the next video, take care. Bye bye.